What was the revenue deal you had with Real Social Dynamics? As in, what kind of cut did they take?
It's probably confidential, or they wanted it to be confidential. But I remember ultimately I would get about 23% of gross takings. So I'd get about 22 or 23% of like my my gross earnings for live coaching and seminars. But you know, in most businesses, in both if you're an employee or an independent contractor for most businesses, you would get usually about a third. Like a third goes to the business, a third goes to the principal, a third goes to the employee or the contractor. But because they had two managers, they had Tyler and Papa. 25%, like half would go to Papa, half would go to Tyler, 25% would go to the business, and the 22% would go to me after expenses. But it was pretty bad actually, because the contract that RSD created, I was neither an employee nor was I a contractor. So I didn't have any of the advantages of a contractor, nor did I have any of the security of an employee. So when I eventually went to depart from Real Social Dynamics, I went to lawyers in Nevada, United States, California, United States, and Melbourne in Australia, where I'm from. And all three lawyers said that the contract was worthless and we could countersue RSD for improper tax practices and them evading taxes and things like that. So, yeah, what percentage did I get? I remember it boiled down to about 23%. And it was very demoralizing because I remember I did the math one year, a couple of years in, and I generated something like, $750,000 income, live coaching, seminars, upsells, online programs, things like that. Especially like the hot seat seminars, it was about $750,000 US, and my take home after expenses was close to, it was like 70,000 or 80,000, something like that. It was not good. It was very demoralizing. It's hard to think. It sounds cool, like 70,000, $80,000 is great when you're 22 or 23, but then when you're 27 and 28, you're thinking, where is this 90% gone? After expenses, rooms and flights and hotels and whatever, which I didn't think was managed that well. So that was it was not great to put it honestly. And I didn't have, none of the benefits of getting paid peanuts is what we thought. And that's why a lot of the staff were not so happy in RSD. But after I left, I think the guys who are in RSD now, they got kind of like partnership deals. So they get compensated a lot better, which also means they're more committed as coaches. So the guys who are still active in the organization, I know they're much more considered because the compensation is better. But in me now working for myself, 4 Week Natural, all revenue that comes into the company is goes to the company, or it goes to me, and my savings or whatever. So I'm very invested in the clients, very committed, which is great. Plus, instead of just doing 3-day programs, I do 4-week programs. So I've got the chance to get to know my guys and be committed to them rather than just meet them for 2 or 3 days, then they're gone, sort of thing. So there you go. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was pretty crazy that 25%, well, 50% basically goes to the co-founders and then 25% to the business. So surely it's not that much of a business to start with, but we'll move on to the
Mm.
next part. What are some other frustrating things about RSD that you were able to avoid by starting 4 Week Natural? So, for example, you mentioned in a video with Todd V in 2018 that RSD would avoid refunding clients by offering video courses and hot seats instead.
Mm-hmm. I guess your questions of this nature are coming in from your audience, and I'd like to have questions more focused on game rather than historic gossip about RSD malpractice. I mean, that's what I'm here to do. Is I'm here to teach game and help people. I can drudge up gossip and mismanagement of affairs of a company from 2013, but to your viewers who are watching that, how is that relevant to your personal development and dating life? It seems like maybe the people who are watching these videos have a generally negative outlook on life, and they're not focusing in on the positives and the progress, but they're witch hunting to be angry at the past. So it could be a blind spot that these, the questions are coming from people who are a little cranky at the past, or a little unhappy, disenchanted with whatever's going on. And they're looking to be more angry. They're looking to be more like raging, like, oh, the government's bad, or this old company's bad, or this mismanagement. There's so many more positive things to look towards, rather than dredging up history, than going over this kind of stuff. So I implore you, to find questions that focus on the future and the progress, rather than questions that just gossip about the past. But
I
to answer
agree.
the question, sure. But to answer the question, I think, well, as a broad statement, because this company is in my name. Well, originally the company was called Alex Social, which was my name, but I made the company 4 Week Natural because it's more about the student's 4 week experience than getting to work with Alex Social. It's more about the student than it is about me, the guru. And the fact that it's a direct connection between me, the coach, and the organization directly to the student, that's very fulfilling. Whereas I was a representative for an organization that I didn't have any managerial say in. I didn't have any partnership. I didn't have any future in. So they would manage things a certain way, and there was a disconnect between me and the client when it wasn't my own organization. So when I have a student come on 4 Week Natural, I am invested. It's like every individual student. We dropped it down to be 8 students per program now, not 9. Every student is a project, and that's a project that I want to work on and finish. I have a lot of difficulty wanting to do seminars or online videos and sell them to 10,000 people, because I don't care. It's like, here's Tinder content. I don't care. We are going to do a Tinder program in the future where I will put out videos on Tinder and dating apps and photography, but it's like $47 for everything you need to know about Tinder, but then you need to book one-on-one calls with me, so I have the personal connection. So the broad answer to the question is, I value personal commitment, personal connection with the students, because then if I invest, then it's like a work in progress. But if I am just putting out content, I'm only investing in the bank account, which it's good. We all need to make money, but as a coach, I'm more of a coach than a businessman, I suppose. I always studied to be a psychologist. That kind of works better for me. So yeah. Let's turn our
That
attention towards some game questions and some progress questions.